finally the results are out. Narendra Modi was in the race. Hillary Clinton was in the race. Donald Trump was in the race. Was there anybody else in the race?
Mm,
This was for the Time Man of the Year, right?
yeah,
Cal, Trump won.
he won.
So what do you have to say about it? I'm feeling very disappointed that Modi didn't win.
Well, he's, I wish Time had a Person of the Year. I mean, let's be honest, this is nonsense. Time used to have Man of the Year. Trump's a man. Call it Man of the Year. If he's a woman, call it Woman of the Year. Now it's Person of the Year because we're politically correct. Politically correct is destroying America. It's another way of being phony. So he's Person of the Year. He earned it, okay? He has shaken up the world order more than any other recent politician. Hillary lost. If Time had a Loser of the Year, it would go to Hillary Clinton. So Trump's victory is now complete. He has swept all major categories. The only thing missing is a Nobel Peace Prize. I don't think he'll get one. Obama didn't earn one, but he got it anyway, just for winning. So it's going to be, as the Chinese say, ironically, may you live in interesting times. This is what's happening now for the world because of America's role in the global superpower structure. I don't even think Trump knows what he's doing day to day.
Yeah, but you just mentioned China. I believe China is extremely upset by Trump because he's been talking to people in Taiwan on the phone. Why is China so upset about this?
Well, China stupidly views that Taiwan is China, and that's because they're still upset over the fact that Chiang Kai-shek escaped and wasn't executed by Mao's people. So they escaped because they were going to lose their lives to what became Taiwan. They consider it to be one China. It's not one China, it's a separate country. It's gone off on its own. Because of American cowardness, going back to Nixon and Kissinger, kissing up to China only to counter the Soviets. It wasn't that we really loved China, and China wanted American attention to help progress the nation as well as counter the Soviets, not make them so dependent on Khrushchev at the time. It was again a game. And Brezhnev. The point is that this is enemy of my enemy is my friend. China doesn't want opposition to what its plans are. Its plans are to dominate Asia, try to keep India down, try to keep India as a second bit-rate player. China wants to dominate everything, and they are ultimately about world conquest. There's very few communist regimes who have not been if they can spread the so-called revolution. Trump has told China that it's unfair, that Chinese goods come into America, we don't tax them the way China taxes American goods. He's right about that. Due to cowards leading the White House in the past decades, we've always caved into China. Americans businesses like to make their goods cheap, as do companies around the world, so they don't care about human rights, they outsource to China. Trump has said he's going to stop that. Already he's apparently lined up a couple of big deals. You can see that the stock market is at over 20,000 now. It's never been that high before. Big business is responding positively to Trump as long as you're on his good side. If you're on his bad side, like Boeing is right now, it's a different story.
But I would definitely give Trump Man of the Year award for the simple reason that if he manages to save American jobs, that itself is a big thing. A job is a very important thing for a person. The very fact that you're working for something, you're getting a salary, you are making a productive contribution to society, he will restore American pride, which I feel Obama would have failed to do if that process would not have been reversed and if all the American jobs had gone overseas.
Yeah, I think one key difference between Obama, who's symptomatic of this politically correct, wimpy, BS way of being, Obama came into office saying, we're not really that special, Americans. And now he's lately been saying, no, we are special. Now he whips out the special card when he's trying to lecture Vladimir Putin on human rights and morality. He plays it when it's convenient, like a joker in his deck. Most people, this election was a reboot against the establishment. They didn't like Hillary. They weren't over happy with Trump, but he felt that he represented real change. Clinton represented a third Obama term, minus some modifications she would do, going back to the past. Americans have never been more polarized since the Vietnam War, and Trump's victory is symptomatic of a desire for real change. Whether he'll deliver it, that's another issue. But you're right, under Obama, the middle class has shrunk 10%. 50% of Americans are living at or below the poverty level. Record numbers of Americans have part-time jobs. Some 95 million of them are out of the workforce. These are things the Democrats don't tell you. They instead emphasize the number of unemployed based on those who bother to submit an application, but when 95 million don't bother to do it, those are real numbers. The unemployment rate is much higher. No nation can prosper if the middle class continues to shrink, and it has been shrinking for years preceding Obama. Obama has not slowed it down. It's gone down another 10%, and now it's about 50%.
So now you feel Trump is going to give it some hope, right?
Well, the hope is there, but what matters, as Obama has proven, hope is a four-letter word, and hope is never a strategy. So without tangible deliverables, as I've told many people for many years, especially Obama la supporters, words mean nothing unless they're backed up by tangible action. It doesn't matter who says them. If you don't produce to back up the words, words mean nothing.